I get to introduce you to the palletometer, how it works, and several areas of application. The palletometer is a visual feedback tool that shows tongue-to-palate contact during speech in real time. With hundreds of people using it, data shows that most graduate within months rather than years. In the picture on your computer screen, you see the PalletView software on the monitor in the back, and in the front you see the data link and the SmartPalate. The SmartPalate is a thin mouthpiece that minimizes the effect on speech clarity. The data link has a magnetic lanyard, making it easy for you to put it on and take it off. The SmartPalate plugs into the top of the data link, and on the SmartPalate itself, you'll find 124 sensors, making it extremely accurate when measuring the tongue-to-palate contact during speech. Your two-user palletometer system comes in a case like you see on your screen, so that you can transport and protect your equipment. Let's go ahead and jump into the software and show how it works. I'm going to launch the software and pop in my SmartPalate. On your screen, you see my tongue-to-palate contact. At the top, the two dots indicate lip closure, as in pop or mom. You can also produce any other sound and see it on your screen. Let's demonstrate a few. For example, s, little. For the first time, you can actually see the tongue-to-palate contact with a biofeedback tool. Let's go ahead and show you how you can quantify a student's accuracy when trying to produce a certain sound. In gold standard, the view that we're in right now, you can pull up a sound target. Let's pull up the sound R. The green dots on your screen are showing me where I should be lighting up the dots, or in other words, putting my tongue in my mouth to produce the sound R. I'm going to hold the sound R for 2 seconds, and on the right side, it will give me a % score for how accurately I produce the sound R. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So I made an R that was 95% accurate. That's pretty amazing. You'll find that most of your students are coming in and scoring anywhere between 0% and 50% accurate. 95% of neurotypical kids that come into your clinic, into your school, will be able to graduate within 20 sessions or less and consistently score 80 to 100% accurate on their production. That's pretty amazing. Let's go ahead and show you how to apply this into a word. So I'm going to have the letter or the sound R brought up here with my green circles, and then I'm going to hold it for 2 seconds right as I'm saying the word read. Okay, so I'm going to hold R for 2 seconds and finish that off with read, making it easy to apply this into standard sequence from a sound in isolation to a sound in a word. Let's go ahead and try it. Read. There it is, 98%. And so I went from a sound in isolation to a sound in a word. That's great. For you to be able to show your student how well they're progressing is so fun. It's so engaging. It becomes a game for them, and they are able to compete against themselves and progress much faster when we can measure and quantify how well they're doing. Let's go ahead and show you another view in the PalletView software. I'm going to switch over to oral coordination. Oral coordination is a great way to assess muscle tone and coordination for a student that you're working with. Okay, so in this view, the purpose is to touch the green dots that appear on the PalletView with the tip of your tongue. Most people can touch each circle within a second. And so let's go ahead and bring up 5 contacts. I've chosen 5 contacts here on the left. And once I press play, 5 green circles will randomly appear on the palette, and I am supposed to touch those with the tip of my tongue. Okay, let's see how it goes. I'm going to press play and give it a shot. That's really good. It's about a second per tongue target. Most kids, when they're coming in, take anywhere between 20 or more seconds to touch just 5 randomly appearing targets. This is another area where you can engage your students. They can race against their previous score. they can really orient themselves and exceed their expectations. This is also a great way to get those students who are sometimes tough to open up, or maybe they're tense. You can have them race against you as the instructor, as the SLP. On the left, you can easily switch from speaker 1 to speaker 2, and it brings up the second speaker, you as the instructor. And you can give this oral coordination a shot, and then go back to speaker 1 and have your student attempt to beat your time. It's a lot of fun, and it's incredible to see how well these kids pick this up. Okay, let's go to the final view, and this is the view of the entire palletometer, where you have two palette views next to each other. On the left, you typically have the instructor, or you as the SLP, with your SmartPalate plugged in, so that you can demonstrate proper articulation to your student here on the right side of the screen. At the bottom, you have a waveform, which is measuring the airflow as they're producing the sounds, the words, the sentences, etc. So this is very great, because what you can do is you can model what is supposed to be proper articulation for a sound, and then have your student attempt to replicate what you're producing. You can also bring up custom-made tongue targets. Again, we saw this before. These are green circles indicating where an R sound should be produced. Okay? The blue dots are indicating correct articulation, and the orange dots are incorrect articulation. I'm going to attempt to make the sound R. And I lit up the blue dots. That was a good production of the sound R. You can also have targets for the sound S, L, and any other target that you want to custom make. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. To start off, you have more than 36 pre-programmed targets that we supply to you. But because every student's sound production slightly varies, you have the ability to custom make a sound target. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to clear this here, and I'm going to make the sound for the letter R, for example. And as I'm making that sound, I can come up here to speaker 1 and then sound targets and capture as target. And I will capture my sound production on the screen. And you see the green circles that have captured that sound. Okay? And so what you can do here is bring this little box and name that whatever you'd like. In this case, I'm going to name it R, and I'm going to press OK. Now this is going to bring up a module where I can edit the tongue target. Okay? So you'll notice as I drag my mouse, these green dots appear. And as I go over them again, they disappear. So you can easily customize the targets by clicking on the targets that you want to add, or taking away the targets that you want to take away. I'm going to save this tongue target, and immediately, let's go ahead and close this, immediately it will appear above the student's palette view. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this R. So there it is, the one that we just barely captured from our student's production. A custom-made R target for your student. That's wonderful. Let's say that you're having a hard time just catching a target during spontaneous speech or during practice. What you can do is come down to this waveform and record a certain word, a certain carrier phrase, and then play it back. And it not only records the waveform, but it also records the placement that takes place during that word or carrier phrase. I'm going to press the red circle and record a carrier phrase. Red Riding Hood. Okay, here we go. Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood. I'll stop it. And now I have a recording of my production for that carrier phrase. We can scroll through this recording, and not only do we see the waveform at the bottom, but we also see the contacts up on the palette view. This is incredibly useful. As you record and play back, you can capture and listen to great production. Okay? And so I've scrolled through to the beginning of the word red in my carrier phrase, Red Riding Hood. And this on the palette view is indicating where the R production sits on my palette. This is a good R production, so I'm going to come up to speaker 1, and I'm going to come to capture as target, and there it is. It brings up this little box again. I name the target that I'm capturing. I press OK, and these are my targets, the green circles. And I save it. I close this module, and again, here above the palette view appears this tongue target. This is very useful because you can take a sound recording in the palette view software and capture a target so that you can use it in future practice. Again, you can save sessions in the palette view software. You save the configuration of the palette view. You can also save any sound recordings, any custom-made tongue targets, so that it's easy for you to go back and pick up where you left off with a client. I'm going to go ahead and close out this recording and go back into the live view. Again, the visual feedback is incredibly useful and engaging for these clients. 95% of the neurotypical students who are using the palletometer are graduating in 20 sessions or less. And they have 80 to 100% accuracy with their production on a consistent basis. Let's go ahead and open up really quick a white paper. This white paper contains an abstract and several references to articles supporting the palletometer in fixing speech disorders. So EPG and palletometer use and treatment is the name of this article, this white paper. Let's scroll down and we'll see an abstract, but we'll also see different speech disorders. Here on the left, we see articulation and phonological disorders. And under this category, you'll find article references that support palletometry in speech therapy and how it has helped. You'll also find other speech disorders, accent modification, cleft palate, hearing impairment, cochlear implants, apraxia speech, and many more. And these are articles under each speech disorder which support the palletometer helping fix that speech disorder. 9 out of 10 students who use the palletometer, whether they're autistic, whether they have cleft palate, whether they just have articulation and phonological disorders, will progress faster.